Hi guys, my name is Zin. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a look at this Natal Plum. I got this from Connor, and it wasn't this long when I got it. I think it was probably 40% smaller than this, and it has grown over the entire season. I haven't touched it at all. It's grown really well. It's starting to cascade by itself, and which is good. So my plan is to repot this from this kind of handmade pot into the pot at the bottom here. This pot is from Nigel. He gave it to me, I think in the summer sometime. So I'm going to use it because this is the only kind of cascade pot that I have. So I'm going to rake the soil here and see what we got. And hopefully it works out in this pot. So before I repot the tree, I want to kind of get a look at what it will look like. So it'll be something like that, or at least I'm hoping it'll be something like that, which I think will look pretty good. So let's get started with that. So this will be my first, I guess, cascade tree that I do it officially in a way, because I don't have any trees that's in a cascade position or in a cascade pot. So this will be the first, and hopefully it goes well. So I'm going to try to get the tree out of the current pot, which I don't think is going to be a problem. The soil is quite dry. I haven't watered it today. So, and I'll try to keep all the mess on this plastic tray, hopefully. So I'll just rake it out. I should probably use my Root Rake 3000 because this one seems a bit too big. But it's working out fairly well. I'm not sure how old the tree was when the cutting was taken. I think this is a cutting. But it has been in my possession for less than a year. And this is the first time that I'm doing anything with it. So I'm hoping, let's get rid of this. Hoping it'll be a successful one, the repot. I don't know much about the Natal Plum. Looks like that's sphagnum moss. So this was probably an aerator, if I have to guess. So this, I guess this is the, maybe the first time the aerator moss has been removed, because I do see a lot of sphagnum moss in here. It looks like it's got a pretty good root system. Try to get the bottom out here. Yeah, it's quite dry right now. And from the look of it, it has a pretty good root flare already, even though the tree is quite small. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this tree has been growing for a while, or has been developed for a while. I'm not sure. But, you know, I did see, yeah, another sphagnum moss. Okay, so I think that's all the soil that I need to get out, or at least most of it. Let's see if I can get some more out here. The bottom is fairly flat. There might be just a couple of roots going straight down, which I'll fix. So it's quite dry. I'm going to wash this, and we'll see what it looks like after the wash. Yeah. Okay, so here is the tree after the wash, and you can see the roots are fairly radial. There's that particular one root that's really long, try to kind of comb this out and see where it goes. This one is quite long, it curves. So we'll see what the other side looks like. Yeah, the roots are quite good actually. So I'm going to take off some of the long ones where this starts curving. I guess that's when it hit the side of the pot. So this one, I'm not sure how these Natal plums takes the root pruning because I'm taking a lot of the long one off, and there's a lot of feeder roots at the end of the long roots. Hopefully this is not going to kill the tree. And here's another one. This one's actually, I think, there might have been a root pruning before. I'm not sure, but it's growing towards the bottom. You can see there's this one root that is above all other roots. So I'm going to remove this particular root. It's like a tiny thing here. There's a kind of a 90-degree thing here. There's kind of a double layer of roots. There's one up here, which is on the root plane, which I like. And then, actually this one, let me get rid of this one first. It's also higher than most of the other roots. So there's one layer at the top, which is what we see up down here. And then under it, there seemed to be this one massive root. That one right there. So I'm going to take this off. And then anything that's vertically going down, I will take off. Okay, so that's quite a bit roots taken off. I'm going to stop here. Well, okay, I'm going to stop now. But yeah, it looks okay. I think it should be fine. Okay, so let's get this in a new pot, and I'm going to have to prune some of these foliage off, of course. And it's weird, some of the leaves are really big, like this one here. Like, look at these. They're about almost double the size of some of the smaller ones. The leaves were smaller when I got it. Over the whole summer it was growing, it was smaller. And I think as soon as I brought it indoors, it started getting bigger, I guess due to the lack of light. But that's okay. So I'll pot it up and we'll prune it, and hopefully, eventually the leaves will become smaller. I am going to use the same drainage screen as before. So that's the inside of the pot, just one hole. This soil is the, I guess a 2.0 soil, which drains really well, but the water retention isn't as good. So I'm gonna have to water this probably a bit more than normal. Let me just see how the tree fits with the amount of soil. Oh yeah, it needs to be much higher. Just gonna take off some of these longer ones. It barely fits in the pot as it is. So I'm thinking this is the front, so that it's going to lean towards the left here. See if I can. So this is if this is the front, this one's coming up. Maybe I'll wire that up a bit. You can see the trunk line from here, and then you have the cascade going down. I might turn it like that a bit. I think it shows a better of the nabari. Yeah, I'll turn it a bit like that. Anyway, something like that. But I think as far as soil, I just mount it up a little bit more so I could push it down. On that angle there. I'm fairly certain this is not going to hold itself up. Because the left side is much heavier. I guess this will be a good tree to tie down with wires. I personally have not tied any tree down yet. So I'm a little bit afraid to do that because never done it. I'm not sure what to expect. But this one, I'm just going to use a rock. I think I need something on the other side to prop it. Actually, maybe I'll just leave it like this. Maybe a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna have to leave it like that for now. And I think once I prune a bit up the bottom there, it's gonna get better, hopefully. So we'll start pruning now. Let's see. I haven't pruned this tree, so I don't know how it would react. But let's start with this heavy bottom here. There is actually a branch growing right there. It's a small, tiny branch. I'll cut this off and we'll develop that new branch. Okay, it seems that it has the very similar to ficus, where it's got that, you know, the sap that's white. I don't know if it's poison or not, or like, you know, it's bad for the skin or not. So I'm not gonna touch it just in case. So that's the little branch I'm talking about. It's coming out. So we'll let that grow, and we'll leave it as is. This top branch, there's a total of 3 branches. There's one that's cascading. There's this one that's weeping or semi-cascading, whatever you want to call it. And then there's that main branch here that's going up, which is the thicker part of the trunk. So since there's a branch developing here, I'm just going to take this off. Let's see if I can get in there. The leaves are quite dense on the tree, so it's really hard to get in there, and you know, and the tree is kind of big. I'm gonna get rid of this leaf, this massive leaf. Okay, so that's the branch. It's much easier to see this way. I'll leave that stub there because I'm not sure how these trees heal. I mean, maybe this is the same kind of sap as a ficus, where it would heal up the wound. It would kind of seal the wound, but I don't really know, so I'll leave it and not do anything else. So that's coming towards us, and that's fine. Up here, I was thinking of taking this front part off and then keeping this thing that's growing in the back. But because that branch here is kind of going in a, oh, it's going back. I kind of want the tree to kind of go up. So I might wire this, but I can't do it now because the tree is not stable in the pot. So I'm not going to wire it. Mind you, if you actually wire the tree into the pot, you can probably wire the branch no problem, because it would be quite stable in the tree in the pot. So I think, you know what, I will take the front one off and then let the back one grow, because I can always correct the direction later on with wires. Yeah, really tough to get in there. I wonder if I need to reduce it any more, because I took a lot of the root off. And I probably can. So you know what? I will reduce it more. I'm going to go just after this leaf that's pointing upwards. So maybe if I can get some vertical branch, so I could go a bit higher. Once I go a bit higher, I could kind of form a triangle, because the top is here, and then you have the weeping branches on the other side. So take that off. Whoa. Okay, next time I'm going to wire it in and try it out and see how it works. Okay, so I don't want to take anything more off, although I could. This branch is pointing, it's at the bottom of the branch, the leaf. So if I cut it, I could get a branch growing down, which is what I want. But I do already have that branch there, so I think I'm okay without doing anything. My main concern right now is that there are too many leaves and not enough roots to support them. So I'm going to reduce some of the leaves. This big one here I'll take off. I've always wondered that with this many leaves, you know, would the light have trouble getting into the tree? But it hasn't. I haven't seen any kind of shading out death of the leaves. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I am going to take this more back. I'm going to take it back to here. I'm hoping for something that's going to sprout from this leaf downwards. But it could also sprout upwards. I'll take the leaf off. Hopefully that'll kind of kickstart the branch down there. But I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I think that's okay. So I'll rotate to the back and see what it looks like. The branch coming on the back, which is fine. I think that's good. It'll give the tree some dimensions. See it right there? So I think we're okay with that. And I think that's a dry leaf here. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's drying. So I think that one is getting shaded out because it's like all the way on the inside. I'll remove this leaf. Uh-oh. Just to get more light into the tree. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the pruning I'm going to do for this guy. I gotta leave that rock there. I'm going to take it off. I'll water this first, and then I'll put the rock back on so this make sure it's stable, and we'll see how it grows. Okay, so I think we're good to go here. I'll just spin it with my hand. So I think eventually I'm gonna have to wire this lower or wire this higher, because right now they're kind of overlapping. You can't really, there's no separation. You can't really see one without the other. I could also decide to cut this back more actually. You know what? Now that I mentioned it myself, I am going to take this back more. Yeah, we'll take it back there, and we'll see what comes out of those two leaves. There's a back branch coming out here. I don't really care for that. I'm going to take that off. So maybe this could be the top, you know. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, hopefully that'll start going down. If not, I'll have to wire it down. Maybe like that. I could probably wire it now because I can hold it. You know, if this rock holds. Nah, I'll wait. Okay guys, that's it for this tree. Before we head into the garage, this is where I put the Natal Plum. It's by the window. It's a south-facing window, so it gets the most amount of sunlight out of all the stuff in here. There's no artificial light where these things are, because it's a window. I don't have any kind of gear to hang up a light. So it has been growing fine, but it is, you know, the temperature is much cooler, a little bit cooler by the window than the inside. And because of the heating of the house, everything is dry, like the air is dry. So humidity is a hard thing to come by. But all the tropical stuff, they're doing fine. I haven't seen anything that's kind of doing not well, like something that's dying or something like that, nothing yet. So the indoor setup so far is working for the second year in a row, I guess. These are just the flare cuttings for Derek. He wanted me to keep them. So anyway, so we'll head into the garage and we'll take a look at the overwintering setup. Okay, so I have my garage door open right now, and there's these little windows. I put at least some of my evergreens, or conifers in this area, so it gets a little bit of light. I've been told that they need a little bit of light during the winter times, but I also know people where they put them in pretty much total darkness and had no issues with it. So yeah, but better safe than sorry. So they'll stay here, and I have more outside. That's the more hardier ones I haven't brought in. Right now the outside temperature is below 0, and in the garage, let's see if we can get a focus. So it's just under 10. It's around 10, under 10, which I feel that it's actually cooler. It feels like really cold in here. So anyways, so I got this shelf. Somebody was I think throwing it out. They left it in the outermost of their lawn, I guess to scrap, and so I picked it up. Looks like a pretty good shelf. Some of these, and then it came with these racks. So I took it, and I got most of my Japanese maples. Actually, all my Japanese maples are in. There's nothing outside anymore in pots. And some of the maples, even though they're hardier, I brought them in anyway. The pomegranate in the back, the leaves never fell. As you can see, they're just yellowed. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave them. If I need to bring it in to wake it up, I'm gonna defoliate it at that time. So everything you see here, mostly Japanese maples, cotoneaster, the pine. Actually, that pine I should probably bring it outside a bit more out, so it gets a little bit of sun. So yeah, the lavender I brought in. That's the giant sequoia. That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watered it yet. Most of this stuff was brought in, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, and you can see the soil. They're still, they're still wet because the roots aren't active, so they're not really sucking up water. And the garage, even though the winter is dry, but without the roots really working, the moisture mostly stays in the soil. I usually water these in maybe a week and a half ish. Whenever I see the soil being dry, I'll water it. So that's the winter setup. This will be my second year overwintering in the garage. The first year I did it pretty much the exact same thing, except without the rack. I didn't have that, but I just left it in here and watered it every once in a while, and it worked out pretty well. So hopefully this winter we'll have the same thing. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.